I worked at a camp in the Sierra Nevadas in California, in bear territory. The camp had seen bears coming through fairly regularly over the years, but most were fairly easily scared off. The year previous to me working there weren't many sightings of any kind, let alone an invasive incident. We started having incidents that summer, mostly found after the intrusions into tents and such. Then the bear was seen firsthand a time or two, and wasn't easy to scare off. One night I'm walking down the hill toward the main lodge and there are other staffers already banging on pots and barking like dogs trying to scare off the bear. They stopped, and I figured they'd succeeded, and I didn't know exactly where the bear was. There was a bin directly behind the lodge where trash was accumulated before being hauled to a bear-proof dumpster a ways out of camp each evening. As I passed this bin, I see a couple of staffers to my left, with the bin on the right, and they look rather fixed on the bin. I stop dead in my tracks and look to my right, and there's the 400 plus LV dark brown phase black bear, about 10 feet away, looking back at me. He does a deep huff at me, looking me right in the eye. I know better than to freak and run, and instead I stand staring back a moment. The bear looks away just a bit, and I take this as my cue to slowly turn back and slowly start walking on my way again. There's an odd tension to holding back the urge to run, metering your movements to be slow and deliberate. Thankfully, it worked, and the appeal of trash was greater than wanting to get rid of me. I was the shooting sports director, and one of my duties was to fire a salute cannon at flag ceremonies. It was a small replica meant for small boats to fire salutes, and used 10-gauge shotgun blanks. After passing the end of the lodge, I turned, walked up the porch, and went inside and immediately got the cannon and around. The back ramp, A to access, was directly opposite the trash bin. The bear was still there, and I went down the first slope of the ramp. It seemed like I didn't have a clear shot for maximum effect, so I walked halfway down the next slope, a zigzag affair. I set it down, pointed directly at the bear, and fired. The bear took off running behind the bin, until its feet landed in the creek behind the lodge, and it decided it should stop and take a drink. After drinking, it started to amble back toward the trash bin. For that night, I gave up. The state ended up issuing a permit and I shot the bear about 2 weeks later, in a similar bin raid. I was on vacation on a coastal town in my country that's in the middle of a forest by the sea. We had been drinking with my friends and was pretty drunk and ready to play some poker, but everyone decided to call it a night. I didn't want to go to sleep, so I took a shot of moonshine, grabbed my coat and mountain bike and decided to go for a ride at 3 a.m. I decided to leave my phone on the house since there's no reception anywhere in the town. I just took my ID in case the police stopped me and some cash to buy some cigarettes. I went to the town center and got the cigs. Decided to go to the beach. Hung around there but got really cold since it was winter and there was a lot of wind. I then decided to ride around the outskirts of town and through the woods. As I'm getting deeper and deeper into the forest, I keep hearing sounds, so I stop and check my surroundings. I then see 3 sets of glowing eyes in the dark, staring at me. I decide to get the fuck out of there. As I'm getting closer to one of the roads circling town, I hear the leaves rustling and lo and behold, there's a pack of 5 stray dogs running at me full speed. I manage to get to the road and they start catching up. The roads are made of compressed sand that had gotten pretty loose over the course of the day, so I couldn't accelerate that much, and they started trying to bite my legs and my bike. One caught my right leg by the pant fabric and I managed to kick his head. Luckily, as the other dogs were about to catch up to me, a car passed by and honked at us and they decided to chat for the car. It took me an hour to figure out where I was and get to the house. The next day I was talking to a park ranger about this and he told me to be careful since there's a pack of stray dogs that's been killing cats and house dogs for 2 weeks now.